Hi, I'm Camilla Cleese, and you're watching The Red Booth Show.
Hi, welcome to The Red Booth Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Q. On tonight's episode, I have a hilarious stand-up comic, Camilla Cleese. So, come and join us. So, hey Camilla, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy that you're here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, there's so many things that I want to talk to you about, especially, obviously, that you are a female stand-up comic and you are gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, I know that you do a lot of things related to being funny.
Yeah.
Which would include writing and also doing some acting as well.
I do a little acting, producing, really anything comedy related.
Cool. Well, I can see how you could have gotten involved into this when you were younger because your father is also a famous comedian, John Cleese.
Yeah, he sure is. Yeah, I guess it's kind of our family business in a funny way. A lot of my family kind of went into it, and I actually didn't plan to. It was never a thought until I was about 23, 24.
You're a very funny lady, and I think people need to go and see your shows. And
you should.
Yes.
Absolutely, people.
Where are you going to be showing in August? Or September, in the upcoming months?
That's a very good question because I might be in Europe and it's sort of been up in the air, but I'll definitely have some dates in Chicago at the end of August and early September.
Cool.
I just haven't lined them up yet.
Well, it's a mystery, everyone.
Yeah.
And you can just go onto her social media, I'm sure, and
yeah.
you can find out.
I post everything on my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Okay. All that. I'm not on Snapchat, so don't waste your time looking. But all of my handles are just my name, because I'm the only Camilla Cleese out there.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, there's upsides and downsides. Like, if you do something wrong, you can't blame it on anyone else. I may or may not have done a few things wrong in my life. But it is nice as far as finding me on social media, because there's just one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's probably a few others with your name, I would guess.
Yeah, but I usually, send people after them and like just go crazy.
Kill them?
Yeah, kill them.
Perfect.
And then that way I always keep my name.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, most of them are probably in England or Ireland or something, right? Because your last name is...
That's true, Quigley.
Yeah.
It's from an Irish name. And it got changed into an Americanized name as we all, yes.
Yeah, well, my...
Good guess there.
Our real last name was Cheese.
Really? Okay. And then?
My grandfather changed it. Thank
He was like, I've
God.
had enough of these cheese jokes.
Can I swear?
Yeah, I just have to bleep it out.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Because I almost did. And I was like...
Feel free.
Okay. Fuck.
That's awesome. And on that note, I actually have to take a quick break.
Okay.
But we will be right back with Camilla Cleese on the Red Booth.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
And welcome back to the Red Booth Show. I'm here with comedian Camilla Cleese. So we were talking about how you transitioned from sort of being in the horse world and deciding to get into writing and comedy. What was the first sort of project that you worked on?
Well, it was funny. Like, growing up, I would sit in sometimes while my dad was working on scripts and just listen to him and his writing partners work together because it was funny, and I think I picked up, kind of learned some stuff then. And when I was about, I guess I was 20 or 21, my dad was asked to do a one-man show that was going to tour in New Zealand, and he asked if I would write it with him. And I don't think either of us anticipated how much I would contribute to it. Like, I think we both thought I would make coffee and type because he can't do that. Computer does not happen.
Right.
Like, he hand wrote his autobiography.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. He must have had like.
And he has like OCD handwriting. It's funny. No. But so it wasn't really until then that some people would be intimidated, but he's my dad. So like I was just throwing out ideas. I'm sure most of them were stupid, but I did wind up contributing some stuff. And then I actually wrote my way into the show.
Nice.
It's a great way to get cast. Nice. 6'1" girl who slightly resembles John Cleese, but not too much.
So did you go on a tour with him then?
I did.
Amazing.
I was in the show with him. I wrote in a part for a hot guy too.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's
right?
so smart.
And for my best friend. And one other actor it wound up being. We toured New Zealand for like 4 months, and that's sort of when I got the bug and my first exposure to it.
Doing like on-stage performance.
Yeah. I'd done acting in high school and stuff, but it always sort of deterred me having a famous dad because I didn't want to be in his shadow. And he discouraged me going into the business.
He did?
Well, I think he secretly wishes sometimes that he was like some sort of academic, like he's kind of a big nerd. So
he's like, I'm actually very smart.
He's
underneath
super smart.
All of this silliness.
He is. He's very silly, but he's like a genius. And I think he maybe wanted me to go that route. So I was like, I'll really disappoint you and do stand-up. He's happy now though, because we get to work together a lot, which is a great excuse to spend time together, especially because he doesn't live here anymore.
He lives in England, right?
He did live here for a while, but he moved back to London.
Oh, cool. And so do you guys how do you work together now?
I'll meet him wherever or go on tour with him. Like, I don't do his shows if we go on tour. Like, I set up my own shows, so we're competing.
Oh my God.
I lose, in case you were wondering. Like, if 13 seats are empty at your show, it's because 13 people couldn't afford tickets and they came to see me instead, maybe, if I'm lucky. I think I probably would do great opening for him, but I also talk about him in my act, and so that might be awkward. I mean, he makes jokes about me on stage all the time, but like, I'm so used to it after all these years of him doing it.
Do you have like a thick skin? Like, he can pretty much say anything and it doesn't really bother you?
I was in Switzerland. I flew over there to do a TED Talk, and then I did a TED Silence. That's a whole nother story. But I got all these texts like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Like, are you fighting?" And I'm like, "What?" And I looked up. He went on Conan. He made some joke to Conan like, "Never have children. They cost all this money and they worry you to death, and then they turn out like their mothers." Like, it wasn't even a good joke. And then he made a joke about one of my ex-wives died, but it was the wrong one, which I'd agree with because it was my mom. But that got translated into a tabloid story that was like, John Cleese wishes all his ex-wives were dead and
like
he'd never had children. And I was like,
God.
And by the time people see
Typical
that
media.
and then they read it, like, things never read in print the same way as when we're saying them. I've had this get me in trouble so many times. So he has like this ongoing feud with the British press.
Really?
Which he keeps like throwing gallons of gasoline on, and I'm like, can't you just let it go?
Of
like,
course you would have to.
I know they're horrible, but like just stop, like, because he'll like find out the names of the people and like make fun of them, and I'm like,
that's awesome.
So when just
high
follow
five,
him
John.
on
High
Twitter.
five.
If you want to see some really funny insults from an old British dude.
Sounds so good.
It is entertaining if you're not me, because it means that they will look for anything to go after me for, or anything that they can use to stir the pot. And I did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and the Daily Mail were there my opening night. and regurgitated half my set, which is about my dad and my stepmom. Like, one of the jokes I do, my dad's wife is half his age. It's his fourth wife.
Yeah.
You know. So that's a comedy goldmine. Like, you can't expect me to not say anything.
I've seen this routine.
Yeah.
I saw it. It's so
I do
funny.
that joke where I'm like, you know, we have a new child in the family, my new stepmom, which is kind of a harmless joke, but they twisted it. The headline was, what was it? Camilla Cleese brand's stepmother is child. And I'm like, no, when you put it like that.
Oh my, wow, they're so creative and inventive, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my dad is really cool. They did that with a whole bunch of my jokes, and they kind of failed to mention I was doing comedy. Like, they made it sound like I was standing on a street corner, like, yelling insults about my family to people who didn't care. But fortunately, my dad, you know, he knows my jokes. Like, I'm not going to surprise him with that stuff. So he tweeted something which was really clever. He was like, it was nice to see that the Daily Mail finally had some good jokes in it, even if they were by my daughter.
That's awesome.
Gasoline on the fire.
There you go. Well, on that, we have to take another quick break.
Perfect.
But we will be right back with The Red Booth Show.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
And welcome back to The Red Booth Show. I'm here with comedian Camilla Cleese.
So awkward.
Right? Hey! So there's so many funny routines that you have, and I know you probably are always creating new stuff and writing new scripts and basically like touring the little scene here in Los Angeles, which is I think it's like its own little world in itself, like the people that are here in LA trying to make it in comedy and stand-up.
Oh, there's too many. If you're thinking about doing stand-up, don't. Just stop.
It's a tough business.
It's hard. But especially in LA, because all the best comics pretty much live here. Anyone with a TV show pretty much lives here, which means that they get all the spots. And a lot of people think comedy, doing stand-up is like a way to get discovered or like a shortcut to making it, if you will. Let's debunk that myth, because it's like the long road. It doesn't matter how funny you are or how talented, like with stand-up you are. It's like so much work and so much time and years put into being good.
Yeah.
Like, people only ever see the really good headliners if they're not in the business. And it's like, you know, those guys have been doing it 10 plus years. Like, it's a grind. And
that's why they've got so much practice being on stage. They have the delivery down.
Right.
They know,
and it all looks impromptu, but it's like, I wish we could all be that funny for an hour, you know, without any kind of thought or premeditation. But, you know, most of it has been tried and refined and rewritten, and it takes a long time I think Louis is the most prolific, probably. He seems to come out with a new special every year, but coming up with an hour of material in a year is like a lot.
Right, because I mean, you'll start with like little couple-minute segments, right?
Yeah.
And then sort of test it out and then add it all sort of together.
Everyone's a little bit different. I mean, I think the more experience you get, perhaps you could be like, well, I want to talk about this in my next special. But for the level that I'm at, and I think, you know, I'm like a feature comic, so I'm an opening act for one of those headliners. And I just have like random things that I think are funny, and then I try to somehow make it all cohesive in the most natural way possible. You know?
It's so hilarious.
And sometimes it's not. Like, that's the nice thing is, you know, when you're talking to someone and having a conversation in real life, which is what you want stand-up to be, a conversation, like a give and take with the audience. Sometimes you'll just stop and then randomly start talking about something else. So you can just kind of wing it and like just stop for a beat and take a breath and be like, you ever think about, it's a weird thing, stand-up. Like, you have to have some sort of connection or relationship with them or they're not gonna laugh. And you have to sort of be vulnerable, but like not too vulnerable because they can eat you alive. I mean, not literally, but
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And you're able to sense all of that and deal with it, and you do such a good job.
well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's why it takes so long to get good at, because you also have to be prepared for any situation where like there's so many outside variables that can affect your performance, like what the comedian before you did, where you go in the lineup, how hot it is in the room, as we will know. It can definitely do a number on your energy, and it's harder to get laughs if people are too hot or too uncomfortable or too comfortable. You know, the ceiling's too high, doesn't contain the laughter. There's a million things. The waitress drops a tray of drinks. Good luck. Like, everyone gets embarrassed for you, and you have to address it. And, you know, you learn all kinds of tricks, but, like, learning to work through all of it is definitely... But I love it. Like, that's why it's fun, and it's a challenge, and it's
So
always new and different. It's so fun most nights, and then occasionally it's miserable.
Well, I have to say, it's very impressive to me. I tried to go to the Laugh Factory or recently, like down in Burbank, and I was like, put my name on the list. Maybe I'll go up for 1 minute and do something. But it's
Flappers is a great place to
Flappers,
start.
that's-
If you're gonna start there, it's a much friendlier environment than like one of the Hollywood clubs.
Right.
Don't go do like people don't realize the open mic there is for like
Seasoned
comedians,
professionals, yeah.
like people trying
Open
to
mic.
get seen by the club booker. That's
It's
sort
not
of
for
not
newbies like
something-
me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Flappers is a great place to go, like to start out. Their mics, and they have a lot of new comics around there.
That's cool. Okay, well, we have to take another quick break.
Great.
But we will be right back with the Red Booth Show.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
And welcome back to the Red Booth Show. I'm here with comedian Camilla Cleese.
I have to wave every time.
Waving is good.
Want to be consistent.
You could do the slow wave.
The royal wave.
Yeah, the royal. Oh, you're good at that.
Well,
That's because of your British heritage,
I
probably.
think it's probably not so good because I've broken this wrist a couple times. Speaking of injuries,
Oh, man. That's from the horses or beating people up?
bit of both. Gotta use my hype for something, you know.
Okay, now this is something I have to talk to you about. So you're 6'1".
Yeah.
And I'm just a little shorter than you. I'm like 5'11", but with heels, I think I'm like 6'3". It's crazy.
Which I love. We should be friends. Like, I'm looking
I
for
know,
new friends
right?
currently. Because all of mine are tiny. And I can't wear heels when we go out because I literally can't hear them. Right? And they always think that you're like some sort of guard railing when you're tall.
They just
and I'm
lean
like,
on you?
I have a delicate center of gravity. Like, you can't just lean on me at my knee. You know, it's not going to end well.
People actually get mad at me for wearing high heels. Does that happen to you?
When you say people, you mean men, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll get random comments on it. It's very interesting. They feel like total license to comment on the fact that I'm wearing. Look, I'm allowed
walk
to wear
up to
these.
someone who was obese and be like, "You're really fat."
I know,
right? But
No.
like, people walk up to people 20 times a day will be like, "You're tall." I know.
Yeah.
And well, I like to have fun with it though. Do you with people a little bit?
I sometimes do, but I'm sure I'd love to hear one of your stories about that though, because I'm sure it's much funnier than mine.
I talk about this in my stand-up too, but like this, if you ever have like a creepy drunk guy come up, like, because this is always the pickup line. It's like, "Damn girl, you're really tall." So I'll just be like, not for a man. And they go away.
That's a good way to keep them away.
Yeah.
I've actually done that. It's easy to transition to the I've had a sex change type thing.
Right.
Just because I'm so large and I tower over so many.
But you're tiny. I mean, you're very feminine and you have boobs, which I know.
I think we're pretty much the same situation over here, okay?
This is an optical illusion.
Oh,
yeah. But it's better than being a weather radar, isn't it?
It's true. I feel like a tree. But, you know, I have to say, it does, like, lessen the percentage of dateable men.
Especially in this town, because it's all actors.
The actors are so short.
And I'll date, like, a little bit shorter than me, but, like, I don't
Like,
want
how
to feel like I'm
short?
going to hurt you, you know?
As she, like, cracks her knuckles.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I don't know, probably, like, 5'11", as long as they're, like, they carry themselves well. Because I don't even see a person's height unless it's something that they're, like, self-conscious of. You know what I mean? And I think when I realized that, I became a lot less worried about my own height. Because as a kid, it's not a good thing. Now I love it. But, like, as a kid, I got bullied and, like, it was weird, you know?
But you can see over all the crowds. Like, it's kind of handy.
Yeah. You can beat up boyfriend. I think, it's great as you get older. Just in LA, as far as dating goes, it's not great. I have a stand-up bit. I don't know if you saw the bit about the guys under 5'8".
I might have seen that part. I actually dated a guy that was like 5'5".
I did date one guy who was 5'7" or 5'8".
His face came right to here.
Yeah.
And I thought he was amazing. He was a wonderful guy, but he felt funny walking next to me, and I definitely couldn't wear high heels.
Well, it's hard. I found, because I dated a guy who was like 5'8" or something, and I really liked him. I was like, I can see past this. So dumb. I couldn't resist. But like, we would hold hands, and his arm, I felt like, was like.
Oh yeah.
And it's really hard.
Like,
I mean, you see tall guys with short girls all the time, but like, I found it was like impossible to kiss and have sex at the same time. You'd have to be like.
Have you noticed the really tall guys always seem to go for like super short girls?
Yeah. Those girls.
What is the deal with that? Like, what about those tall girls? Like, I don't get it.
I hear that on dating apps, a lot of girls are like, I'm 5'2", 5'5" in heels, but if you're under 6'2", like swipe.
Don't even try.
Yeah. No, not okay.
They're totally taking all the like tall guys, which I don't get the thing. Like,
if you're 5'2", you don't need someone over 6 foot.
It makes the men feel like even taller or something.
Yeah.
I think they like that.
More masculine.
More masculine, yeah.
See, I definitely have a emasculating effect, probably, but mostly just because I like make fun of everyone. That's how I show affection. Like, if I'm too nice, be worried.
That's right.
You know, it's like the opposite of a normal human. But I have a bit where and look, it's only after I've made fun of my own height for like a few minutes that I'll ever broach it. But I used to do a bit, I still do occasionally, but some of the references are old, about how guys under 5'8" are more trouble, like cause more trouble. And
why is this?
Well, I just
my camera guys are like, yeah, what?
Well, no, just if you look at history, like it shows.
Oh, like Napoleon.
Yeah, guys under 5'8" are responsible for
go.
most of the misery in the world, right? Like,
wait, how tall was Hitler?
Look at all the dictators. You've got Napoleon, Hitler, Genghis Khan, Stalin, Genghis Khan. No, I said
King
that.
Jong-il.
Tom Cruise.
What?
Justin Bieber.
Aww.
Oscar Pistorius.
I love Tom Cruise. Come on, but I can't wear heels around him, so.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Oh, no. My dad and I used to play a game on the red carpet where we, like, try and get as close behind Ryan Seacrest as we can. Because when I'm in heels...
How tall is he?
She's, like, 5'7", I think.
Really? He seems so tall on TV.
They all do.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's 5'8". That broke my heart.
Really? I thought he was, like, 6'6".
I know.
My imagination was just...
Yeah. John Hamm is... of a solid height.
Nice.
But that bit of stand-up, so what did I say? Tom Cruise, and then I'd say Oscar Pistorius. I don't know if you know who that is, but
I don't.
It's an the South African runner with the blades. He murdered his girlfriend.
Oh,
but he had his legs amputated.
what? Oh my
You
god.
don't, doesn't ring a bell?
No, sorry.
Joke works a lot better when it does. I'd just be like, yeah, he never killed anyone until he was under 5'8".
Oh god.
So, but then this group of short guys started a hate campaign against me online.
Oh no.
And I'd stopped doing the bit, but I was like, okay, now it's on.
That's like, okay.
That's like, it's like, I don't want to say the website because I don't want to give them attention, but it's like it's a support for the something or other.
Support group
something
for short guys?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And they were like, she's a whore and a bigot and a heightist. We're going to sue her.
A heightist? I have never heard of that before.
I'm not saying these things seriously. Like, I'm doing stand-up comedy, right?
Oh no.
And then they were all calling me a gold digger because I have this one line where I'm like, so I don't date guys under 5'8".
Oh yeah, unless
unless they're like super rich.
Right, yeah.
And terminally ill.
Yeah.
So they were all like, she's a gold digger. Okay,
they're taking
don't
you
take everything so
seriously.
seriously. Yeah.
Oh my god. Everything you say on your stand-up show is true. I mean, that's your honest feelings.
If you guys are watching right now, you should really see if Napoleon.complex is open.
Oh, shit.
It's a much better URL. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, on that note, we actually have run out of time on the show. So.
Oh. That's because the camera guys are done.
They're like, we're turning
screw
off the
you
cameras.
guys. That I deserve it.
It's been so fun having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. So much fun.
Yeah, and definitely people should go and follow you on social media.
Not in real life.
Right. Not like stalking, but just social media, and
yes,
find out about your next live performance, live show.
Please do. Come on out, say hi.
Awesome.
After.
Sounds good.
And then don't follow me.
And make sure you're over 5'8", right?
No, I love all of my best guy friends are little guys.
Okay. That's good.
But I have to make fun of them in my stand-up,
It's awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.